Okay, so once again, Carolina gets another win against Nashville, making up. They've officially made up for both losses against Detroit. However, I still think, they should have at least won one of those games against Detroit, but no point in dreading on the past because Carolina needs to look forward, and they continue to look forward with this game. So, I gotta tell you, this was just pure domination. I don't think the score reflected how much more Carolina dominated Nashville in this game. I think, all respect to Nashville, I don't think they really came out to play this game for whatever reason. I think they were like white hot for a while, and I think now Nashville is starting to come back down to earth, and Carolina happened to be the team to put them back down to earth. I still think Nashville is a good team, just, and UC Saros, holy shit, what a phenomenal goalie. Because I can talk shit about, like, oh, Nashville played bad or something, I think Nashville got outplayed everywhere on the ice, if I'm being brutally honest to Nashville fans who aren't going to be watching this. But, holy shit, did UC Saros play well for Nashville. As much as I'm going to praise Carolina in a little bit, I gotta pay my respects because that first period, Carolina should have been up 4-0, and UC Saros kept shutting the door. He got help from the post, but man, oh man, that game was close for the first two periods, and I wouldn't say in doubt. I think I was pretty confident watching that Carolina was gonna win. And yeah, they were solid all around, but UC Saros in that period managed to get Nashville. Nashville almost took the lead in this game. And to go on to something, what's the number one thing I've criticized Carolina for? Not being tough in front of the net. Cedric Paquette has clearly watched these videos and learned the lesson because I gotta tell you, like, Paquette made a phenomenal play, and I really want to point this out. Nashville just scored, and then they come back and get a 3-on-1, and Nedeljkovic does what he does. He gets the first shot. I don't think that goal would have been his fault because it's a 3-on-1. Or to the defensemen, it was a bad pinch by Brady Shea. And Cedric Paquette comes in, he back checks, and is tough in front of the net, and Nedeljkovic was able to cover the puck up. As much as you want to praise Nedeljkovic for being able to find the puck and cover it up, you got to praise Paquette for that play. What Paquette did was as good as a goal because Nashville, that is the difference between 2-1 Nashville and 2-1 Carolina later in the game, or 2-2 Carolina later in the game. And if Nashville's able to go up 2-1 after they had been getting outplayed the way some NHL teams do, Nashville might have been like, hey, we're starting to get some momentum here. Let's pick it up. So, yeah, give Paquette his due there. He absolutely saved that goal. Now, as for other plays of the game, it's just all around, just everyone played well. The defense was spectacular. The offense should have gotten more goals than they did, and they still got 3 goals, one of whom being an empty net. I can't think of any line that played bad tonight. I think a standout line for me, the best forward line of the game, was Jordan Staal, Fogel, and Nino. I think, obviously, Aho and Svech played well together this game. And the fourth line, I called out Paquette. They really did a good job doing their job this game. So I guess the third line wasn't as standout, but still, you can't complain about this game. There's nothing as a hockey fan you can say that can complain about this game other than certain points in the game. Nashville was getting 2 chances. I complained about the pinch that Brady Shea had, but people mess up on the pinch every single hockey game. So I'm not going to be like, oh, they were... Well, no, there's not much you can complain about in this game. No hockey game is perfect. This was close to perfect. And I got to give a shout out because Hurricane of the game, this is probably the toughest giving out that award has been all season for me, figuring out who deserves it. Because, as much as I just praised the offense this game, the defense is where this game stood out. It was a defensive battle that Carolina dominated throughout, 46, 47 shots on net. But, Jacob Slavin played really consistently well, dominated the play, made maybe the best defensive play all season when he made that diving block in an area where players would not think to dive block. And then Hakanpää, I think the only reason I'm considering Hakanpää is because I'm still deciding right now as I talk because I simply cannot make up my mind. The reason why I'm considering Hakanpää as well is because he got his first goal as a Hurricane, was consistent. laid out a couple big hits, which is what we want him for. And then you have Nedeljkovic, who, I joked that given the fact that I said Mrazek are in the starting position, next game Nedeljkovic is going to make me question that because of how well he plays. He did exactly that. I honestly could not tell you which goalie I think should get the start in the playoffs right now, and that's an amazing position to be in. I feel bad for Reimer. I like Reimer. I think last season, I actually thought he was the better goalie than Mrazek, just consistently. But this season, Mrazek's the one that stepped up, and I think that's a good position to be in, where you have three goalies competing with each other. And I'm honestly going to be upset to see one of them leave. But so yeah, this is a three-horse race, and you want to talk about, and since I'm calling it a three-horse race, as much as I love Jacob Slavin and I'll give him Hurricane of the Game any chance I get because he's a criminally underrated player, and if I can pitch that to my 31 subscribers who already know how great he is, I will do it. And then, I'd love to give it to Nedeljkovic, but just the sentimental value, I've done this before, where I'll give it to the person who got the great moment in the game and something for teams to round about and play for that moment to really stand out. And for me, Hakanpää getting his first goal as a Hurricane, that's awesome. And he is the best name in Hurricanes history. I'm honestly I love Hakanpää as a solid top six defenseman. He might be the most perfect top six defenseman in the NHL to me. Just based on how I watch, 6'5", can lay big hits, get momentum going, solid defensively, and as we just saw, can consistently score. Carolina can probably get him for cheap in the offseason, depending on how the Svech Hamilton signings go. I mean, Svechnikov is your number one priority, and then you have Dougie Hamilton, Brock McGinn as well, just for loyalty. But Hakanpää, I think, is definitely someone you should look into re-signing just based on these two games. It seems like he clicks in Carolina's system a lot. And honestly, the way Brind'Amour gives out captaincies, I could see Hakanpää becoming a future alternate captain for the Hurricanes. I could. Just for the name, I'm honestly talking about. I'm also partly giving Hakanpää the list for his name. I love saying the name Hakanpää. It's just a fun name to say. So yeah, Hakanpää gets Hurricane of the Game. Probably every Hurricane review, I'll be praising Hakanpää's name at least. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the game. Hopefully, I know I've been a little late with my uploads, this game included. Hopefully, as I get more into the routine of my job, I'll be able to upload more consistently. Of course, in the playoffs, I'm going to schedule my work because I can kind of dictate my own schedule around the Hurricanes. I'll be like, okay, Hurricanes have a playoff game at this time. I'm going to head out for work at this time. That's kind of how it's going to be from here on out. But yeah, those are my unless it's a noon game, then I'm fucked. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the game. But more importantly, what did you guys think about the game? And that three-horse race, who would you give Hurricane of the Game to? Because, man, or would you give it to someone from the Stallfogo Niederreiter line, Paquette as well? I think Paquette definitely came close if this wasn't just an all-star performance by the Canes all around. But yeah, I'll see you guys. I didn't check when the next game is. Probably... my phone's too far away. I'll see you guys whenever the next Canes game in or 2 days later. But I'll try to be more consistent because it benefits you guys and me if I upload more consistently after Canes games. So thank you. See you guys then.